Hi, welcome to Jess Checks Out, and I am Jess, and I have been checking out some books. Actually, I've been checking out lots of books because I did Heather from Bookable's "'Tis the Season Readathon, and this will be a wrap up of those books. I already have talked about most of them on YouTube, on Instagram, but I will talk about them more here. And as you can see, my daughter has arrived. Normally, I'm not planning on her being on camera, but she's just getting over the rotavirus vaccination, and I want to keep her close by. So, have a daughter. And she woke up. Alright, so I read 5 books, and there are 5 prompts, and I will tell you what the prompts go with them and how it went. So, first, well, not first, but the first one I remember was 8 Winter Nights, and that one is a Hanukkah romance, and it is a audiobook that I think is under like 4 hours, something like that. And I gave it 2.5, no, either 2.5 or 3 stars. I can't remember offhand. And I didn't actually dislike it. I picked it because it had snow on the cover, which was a prompt. I just felt like it needed to be a little bit longer because it went from the main character is in love with her best friend's boyfriend because she saw him first and that's how that went, and to being just a little bit too fast in such a short space. And in case you're wondering about the sunlight, it's because it's like 1:30 here in Germany, and winter here is very interesting because we don't really have a lot of time to film. So if I fade in and out, I am sorry about that. I will try to auto-correct it when my husband teaches me how to do that in his program. But until then, this is what we got. Okay, so I felt like it just was a little bit too fast and not enough emphasis on the romance side, the building, and you know, because she'd been in love with him for a year, and then they broke, and then she and her, well, her best friend and this guy broke up, and she was like, no, I can't go after him, blah blah. There's a lot of angst in it. So I read the Miracle, I think it's Mistletoe Magic or something like that, and in Mistletoe Magic I gave it 5 stars because it was amazing, and it was my bake a treat one. And so, like, bake a treat while reading a book, and bless audiobooks because that makes it very easy. And in this one, I made like a blatterteig, which is like a puff pastry, omelet in the oven, like a casserole type deal with like potatoes and cheese and vegetables like mushrooms, onions, tomatoes, a cheese sauce. I make all this stuff except for the puff pastry, obviously, by hand. So it was pretty interesting, and I listened to it. It was like I think it was like 2 or 3 hours, and I really enjoyed it. I felt like the book had a lot of heart to it because it was about a vet that comes to town, and he meets up with an old love that he'd been missing, and they really get along. And I felt like it was an amazing way of doing this. Okay. And you know, there was a lot of growth, and the lead main character, the woman, didn't like say, oh no, I never found love again. She's like, no, I found love again. Like, I mean, I missed my guy, but I found love again. Okay. And so that one was 5 stars. And then I read the Christmas Pawdcast. You get it, Pawdcast. And that one was a interesting combination because it was about a true crime podcaster who ends up with a lady and her foster dog that had been kind of like left in the snow because a blizzard came, and she was going from Texas to her home in Colorado. And so in this one, the dog is pregnant, and she's kind of like a mutt and a rough, and you know, this guy doesn't like Christmas, and he has his reasons. I think I gave it 3 stars. It actually wasn't bad. I just felt like it needed to be a little bit fleshed out more. A lot like actually 8 Winter Nights. And so sometimes I think I would have rated higher if they'd added like, you know, an extra like 15, 20, 30 minutes of information. But I really enjoyed the fact that, you know, it was that way. And then I read 12 Days of Christmas by Debbie Macomber. Love her. Like, so in my early to mid 20s or so, I really enjoyed Debbie when I was in a mood. My godmother was going to the doctor a lot at that point, and when you go to the doctor, you have to wait and wait and wait when you're waiting on someone that is older. And so while I was doing that, I was reading her books, and I was very into it. And so I appreciated that. And as you can see, my daughter is getting sleepy, so this is going to be a very quick episode. I felt like it was it was an interesting dynamic. I didn't really necessarily like the way it worked out, but I give it 3.5 stars, which is pretty high for me during this procedure. And I think that it was a Grump Sunshine. He's the Grump, she's the Sunshine, obviously. And it's about like, why don't you love Christmas? You know, so forth, so forth. But I felt like it probably needed a little bit more, a little bit extra to it. Um, I think it was under 6 hours. It was the longest book that I read. But I appreciate her sometimes when I just want something light and easy to read. And then finally, we can wrap this up in a moment. I read The Package by Kay Bromberg. I, so I think I gave this one 2 stars. In all actuality, I probably should have given it 1, but I'm feeling generous because it's Christmas. It's about a curvy messenger who ends up getting fired, but she's delivering mail for whatever reason at the end of the day anyway. And she meets up with this guy who's on the corporate level floor, or the higher ups executives before blah blah. She works with this like lingerie company, and she starts telling him, oh, your products suck, they don't fit for all sizes, they don't fit like for me, they look very in, industrial and not very sexy like you do the other people, stuff like that, which I mean valid. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But then like it just became a lust. It's a very short one, under an hour, so I feel like they need to add some more stuff because I didn't buy it. It was very much a wish fulfillment for a billionaire or high millionaire type deal, because yeah, it didn't work for me. But the week reading, it was the 5th through the 11th, and I was going to do a vlog, but with her, I had to take her to the doctor, hence when she got her rota vaccine virus, and now she's had the reaction to it, but it's her final dosage, so no more. Yay! But, I enjoyed it. I felt like it was fun. I will link to all my posts that are on Instagram, because I do have all 5 days on there, and there's a little bit more information and the stars and stuff like that. But hopefully next year, Heather will do it again and I can follow along, because I really enjoyed reading romance, and I enjoyed reading feel-good romance versus, sometimes it can be angsty or whatever, and this is all pretty classic Christmas stuff, right? And I think it's so much fun. I cannot wait to see what I do next year, if it happens. And it got me in the Christmas mood. Nora says, good night, and she will see you later, because mommy has to go put me down for a nap, which means I will edit this at some point in my near future. So, happy holidays if this is your holiday-ish time. I hope you have a really good rest of December whenever this goes up. Hopefully by the end of December. Aww. I'm still learning my husband's Vegas thing, so who knows when this thing will go up. And I honestly have just had a blast reading these. I found some new authors that I love, like Melissa McClone, who did, the Mistletoe, and I really appreciated being able to read something different, like 8 Winter Nights. I try and find more holiday season-y stuff, but I couldn't find a whole lot because I was using Audible Plus in my library. I'm limited. That's what it is. I got the Audible Plus for free with the Black Friday thing, and the library, of course, is free, so you got what you got, right? All right, so we are going to say goodbye. Goodbye. She has not figured out there's a baby on the screen yet, like she did when we were recording earlier, and I scrapped it. But yes, I may actually put that as a stinger. Okay, guys. Enjoy reading, and let me know what you've read recently that made you go, oh, okay, that was pretty interesting, and oh, look, something new, and I enjoy it. And my daughter will keep staring at my bookshelves. All right, bye, guys. I will link my real reviews. I posted them on Instagram every day, just about, because I was reading like a book a day. Everything was under 6 hours. I am glad you can see my daughter in her awake state. All right, so I have got some to talk about that I enjoyed, some I did not. I really, really enjoyed the Mistletoe Magic, I think. It's either Mistletoe Magic or Mistletoe or Mistletoe Miracle. And I posted it as the first one, and it was a 5-star read. Imagine like a Hallmark short story where, you know, a veterinarian and a former past love get together at second chance. They're in their late 20s, early 30s, and it's just this very interesting viewpoint. And she is just discovering there is a baby on screen, and she is just discovering babies, and this is fascinating to her. Okay,